Did you know that in 2025, the average person will spend over 10,000 hours of their life trying to learn new skills, only to forget 70% of what they learned within a week? That's like spending an entire year of your life just to forget almost everything. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. What if I told you there's a way to learn anything faster, remember it longer, and actually enjoy the process? And no, it's not about cramming or pulling all-nighters, it's about working smarter, not harder. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the most effective way to learn anything in 2025. Whether you're trying to master a new language, pick up a musical instrument, or finally understand how AI works, this video is for you. By the end of it, you'll walk away with a clear, step-by-step framework that's going to change the way you approach learning forever. Sound good? Let's get into it. Before we jump into the how, let's talk about the why. Why is it that some people seem to learn things effortlessly while others struggle to retain even the basics? Is it talent? Genetics? Luck? Nope. It all comes down to how you learn. And here's the kicker. Most of us were never taught how to learn effectively. We were just told to memorize, repeat, and hope for the best. But in 2025, with information exploding all around us, that old school approach just doesn't cut it anymore. So, what's the secret? It's not about spending more time learning, it's about learning in a way that aligns with how your brain actually works. And today, I'm going to break it all down for you into 3 simple science-backed L1 steps. These steps are going to help you learn faster, retain more, and actually enjoy the process. Ready? Let's go. Here's what we're covering today. Step 1. The power of micro-learning. This is all about breaking down big, overwhelming topics into bite-sized chunks that your brain can actually handle. Step 2. Active recall and spaced repetition. These are 2 techniques that will supercharge your memory and help you retain information long-term. And step 3. The feedback loop. This is where you'll learn how to track your progress, spot your weaknesses, and keep improving. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete framework that you can apply to any skill or subject you want to master. Oh, and if you're the type who likes to take notes, grab a pen and paper because you're going to want to write this down. Let's start with step 1. Step 1. The power of micro-learning. Okay, let's talk about micro-learning. Have you ever tried to learn something new only to feel completely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information? Yeah, me too. That's where micro-learning comes in. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, you break it down into small, manageable pieces. Think of it like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. For example, if you're trying to learn a new language, don't try to memorize the entire dictionary on day 1. Start with just 10 words a day. Or if you're learning to code, focus on one concept at a time. The key here is consistency. Small daily efforts add up over time, and before you know it, you've built a solid foundation. And here's a pro tip. Use technology to your advantage. There are so many apps and tools out there that are designed for micro-learning. Whether it's Duolingo for languages, Khan Academy for math, or even YouTube tutorials, these resources make it easy to learn in small, focused bursts. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, small steps lead to big results. Now, let's move on to step 2. Step 2. Active recall and spaced repetition. Alright, step 2 is where things get really exciting. This is all about remembering what you learn. Because let's be honest, what's the point of learning something if you're just going to forget it a week later? That's where active recall and spaced repetition come in. Active recall is the process of actively retrieving information from your memory. Instead of passively rereading your notes, you test yourself. This forces your brain to work harder, which strengthens your memory. And spaced repetition is all about timing. Instead of cramming, you review the material at increasing intervals over time. This helps move the information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. Here's how you can apply this. Let's say you're learning a new language. After you've learned those 10 new words, don't just move on to the next set. Test yourself on them the next day, then 2 days later, then a week later. There are apps like Anki that automate this process for you, but you can also do it manually with flashcards or even a notebook. The beauty of this method is that it's backed by decades of research. It's how medical students memorize thousands of terms, and it's how language learners become fluent. And the best part, it works for anything. Now, let's move on to the final step. Step 3. The feedback loop. Okay, we've covered how to learn in small chunks and how to remember what you've learned. Now, let's talk about how to keep improving. This is where the feedback loop comes in. Think of it as your personal GPS for learning. It tells you where you are, where you're going, and how to get there. The feedback loop has 4 parts: learn, practice, feedback, and improve. First, you learn something new. Then you practice it. Next, you get feedback, either from yourself, a teacher, or a tool. And finally, you use that feedback to improve. This cycle keeps repeating, and each time you get a little better. Here's an example. Let's say you're learning to play the guitar. You learn a new chord, practice it, record yourself playing, and then listen back to see where you can improve. Or if you're learning to code, you write a program, test it, debug it, and then refine it. The key is to be intentional about seeking feedback and using it to grow. And here's the thing. Feedback doesn't have to come from someone else. You can be your own coach. The important part is to stay curious, stay humble, and keep pushing yourself to improve. Because that's how mastery happens. And there you have it, the most effective way to learn anything in 2025. Let's do a quick recap. Step 1, break it down with microlearning. Step 2, lock it in with active recall and spaced repetition. And step 3, keep improving with the feedback loop. These 3 steps are your secret sauce to learning faster, remembering more, and actually enjoying the process. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one thing you're excited to learn using this framework? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could use a learning boost. Remember, the best time to start learning something new was yesterday. The second best time is today. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and start learning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep being awesome. Bye.